change, shit change. You will never switch lanes, switch lanes. You be on a different wave, and I know I'll be on a different page. And now you wanna switch lanes, switch lanes. Shorty wanna switch lanes, wanna switch lanes. It's a shame, but you know I really got it on the bird up in there. He get away with the swerve in there. Girl, don't play me, you try to nerve up in there. Cause he been knowing it in his head up in there. Don't play me for no bird up in there. Girl, don't play me for no bird up in there. Cause I'd still be riding, I'd still be rolling in the studio singing all my favorite songs. Wish I wasn't traffic, not the circumstances. Sorry, don't you act like I'm holding you back.
Couldn't have been, but they were going to reveal it on SmackDown, so it's a big reveal, right? For WrestleMania. Who's he talking to on the phone, and what role will they have going into this Mania match? I think it was a great hook because it had us all interested every week, and it was tying into Randy's story. He was hearing voices in his head, but he also had this.
Sorry, don't you act like I'm
Christmas and you got socks. That's what it felt like. You got this present, and it all amped up, and then you got handed to you, and you open her up, and you just got some socks in there, and you're supposed to go, oh, great. It's socks. That's how I felt. I'm supposed to be loud and enjoy this moment that Pat McAfee's revealed to be the guy. I think that this is extremely tone deaf of WWE. It doesn't make any sense that Pat and Randy are talking to each other. He tried to explain it in the promo a little bit, but they're also kind of pivoting a little bit of the motivations. Randy's motivation has been, I want the 15th championship. Cody kind of pushed him over the edge to listen to his voices, and he's doing that. That's kind of Randy's whole thing right now, is to get that belt. And Pat comes in, and they're pivoting the motivation into, yeah, it's about the title, but Randy's more upset, and I am mostly upset that we don't have Attitude Era, and things are too corporate, and that's why he's attacking, and we are wanting to destroy Randy Orton because we don't like the direction of the company because it doesn't have enough attitude in it. No, it doesn't have enough good stories, and it's confusing stuff like this. They wanted to get like Pat in the ring talking about how things like this situation that we're currently unfolding right in front of us doesn't make a lick of sense. That would be the ultimate way for Pat to get over and WWE to get this over, is Pat talking about how creative is making really dumb decisions where they have stories that don't make any sense. Eh?
Hi, this is Crystal from United Healthcare. I advocate for our members, but my true satisfaction comes from outreach to members to get preventive health services. Both my grandmothers were diagnosed with breast cancer at a late stage. That's why preventive health care is important to me, because it could have been different. You live once, right? I need to do something that I could feel good about. I'm Crystal, and I am committed to care.
Get it? Like, now we're gonna get, I think, Pat McAfee walking Randy Orton out to WrestleMania.
Makes no sense.
You're gonna get Pat on TV every week being the voice, the mouthpiece for Randy. That doesn't make any sense either. Randy can stand on his own. Also, why would Randy, who is basically a tweener, why would he want to listen to Pat, and why would he not want to just RKO him and everybody around him?
NBA action coming up for you. I'm Brian Anderson. With me tonight, Grant Hill and Richard Jefferson, with Ali LaForce joining us courtside. Here we go. It'll be Orlando off the tip. Here's Carter. And it's slammed in by Carter.
You love the show of force from Carter Jr. He's not messing around when he gets the ball down there.
We know what this nigga's about.
Orlando with the ball. Pass to Wagner. The three. And it's Holmgren with the rebound. And here's SGA.
What? I don't know if this shit gotta be right. There ain't no way in how he pulled up that.
Right side Bane. To the inside. Carter laid it in with a nice touch off the window.
And just excellent work by Carter Jr. He's used to having to overcome tough defense like this.
Williams' shot is good. Here's Suggs. Pass to Carter. Bancaro outside. Off the mark there with a three. And it's Thunder's ball. Back to Gilgeous-Alexander. Lots of room.
Right.
It's rebounded by Wagner. And here they come. Here's Suggs. Soft touch off the glass.
That money up,
Nice
nigga.
initiative from Suggs. Seeing an easy scoring opportunity and pouncing on it.
I'm a defensive player, Shay. It's not gonna work, man.
Gilgeous-Alexander from outside.
Yo,
Sinks
I'm
it.
about to get
What range from downtown.
He's consistent from out there, especially when you give him that kind of room.
Pass to Suggs. Kicks it out to Wagner. Right side Bain. 6 to shoot. And Williams over to help. Shoots from the baseline. And they turn it over. Shot clock violation as the buzzer sounds. And the Magic making a change here. Here in the first, just under 2.5 minutes played so far.
Don't let Shea score. That's the bottom.
From deep, Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
Orlando with the rebound.
Don't let it pass go. Easy.
Pass to Carter. Back to Carter. Here's Bancaro. Shot.
Damn. Why that nigga blocking like that? Man?
And here's SGA outside. The putback. And the big finish by Holmgren.
This is what coach wants to see from Holmgren. Outworking the defense to get a second chance look.
Here's Carter. And he's going to the line for two. The official saw contact while he was going up. It's on Isaiah Hartenstein. Orlando shooting their first free throws of the game. That free throw no good. Orlando making a switch here. And he's good on the second. A minute 58 left in the first quarter. Williams in the post. And here's SGA outside. Gets the three to fall. SGA's got 6 points.
Outside, inside, in between, it doesn't matter. SGA is lethal.
A minute 29 left to play in the first quarter. Here's Wagner.
What a foul. The fuck is this?
Man, y'all someone opposing defenses have a hard time game planning for.
Outside Gilgeous-Alexander. Over Carter. And it's Oklahoma City with another.
He'll be asking for some lottery numbers later if he keeps knocking down shots like that.
What is Big 30 got to do with it? What? You trying to say Big 30?
Pass to Bain. Ooh, plenty of contact on that shot. Officials call the foul, and he'll take 2 free throws now. It's on Isaiah Hartenstein.
You got it.
He knew exactly where his man was going to be. Standing your
On your iPhone.
Chinese will never mix chia seeds with lemon. Unless they want to lose a lot of weight, don't skip this. Peel 2 lemons and...
Pass to Dort.
Want to listen to Pat, and why would he not want to just RKO him and everybody around him? Because that's what he's been doing. Randy has also never, again, all the context of the story and what they're doing, Randy has never mentioned that Cody Rhodes is this corporate representation.
That's crazy. The Lakers, oh my God, bro. The Lakers are fucking tough.
That's also the issue. And again, it's in St. Louis, so they're going to boo Cody. Cody got booed, and then Cody did the promo later on, which is an odd thing to do, I feel, as well. Cody got beaten down pretty bad. He comes out later to kind of get one back at Pat and Randy. Now he's all fired. Fix my eyes. If you have faith that I can do it, it will be done.
Man, I want to see nobody making no movie like that.
Y'all ain't a brutal loss last night at the hands of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and even worse, lost Luka Doncic to a hamstring injury. Well, now the MRI results are in on that hamstring injury for Luka, and Lakers Nation, it's not good.
Yeah, we know.
It's not good. It is a grade 2 hamstring strain for Luka. So what does this mean? The grade 2 strain would be 3 to 6 weeks that Luka will be recovering with this hamstring injury. Obviously, that would put him out for the remainder of the regular season.
And first round.
Put him out for most likely at least, if not more, round 1 of the NBA playoffs, which start up in just a couple of weeks. Absolutely brutal news for the Los Angeles Lakers. So what is this going to mean? What does this mean for the standings? What does this mean for the playoffs and everything else around the Los Angeles Lakers? I'm going to get into that. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the LakersNation.com YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. We're brought to you by Prize Picks. Let's go. Luka, a grade 2 strain. So first and foremost, what does that mean for the rest of the season? Well, that means he is out. There's zero chance that he comes back to play in any of these remaining games that are left. You've got Dallas, OKC, Golden State, Phoenix, Utah, totally off the board. Now, what does that mean for the Lakers and the standings? Right now, they're 1 game up on the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference standings. They are hanging on to that 3 seed. The Lakers do have the tiebreaker over Denver. In fact, they have the tiebreaker over Denver, Houston, and Minnesota. So that will be helpful here for the Lakers if they're trying to maintain their standing. Denver they've got a game coming up tomorrow against San Antonio. If they win that game, they could very well be positioned to run the table and win the rest of the way and win out, and that would put them with the ability to leapfrog the Lakers. Now, the only way the Lakers could avoid that would be is if they lose just 1 game the rest of the way. The Lakers would need to get 4 wins. If the Lakers get 4 wins in the remaining 5 games, then nothing Denver or anyone else does will matter. The Lakers will lose.
Are you back, nigga?
Even Denver wins out. Now, if Denver loses tomorrow to San Antonio, then that opens up a couple things. Number 1, that would give the Lakers the ability to lose another game, so they'd be able to lose 2 games and still hang on to the 3 seed. And losing that game would also keep the Spurs in the hunt for the 1 seed, which then would maybe get us to a point where the Spurs actually play their guys the final game of the regular season against the Denver Nuggets. Okay, if Denver win against San Antonio tomorrow, then that effectively kicks the Spurs out of the race for the 1 seed. And then OKC would also have very little reason to play their guys on Friday against the Nuggets as well. So the one game is huge. You're going to get a double whammy here where a win for Denver would also result in the final 2 wins because they're playing against the end of the bench for both the Thunder and the Spurs. They do have the Portland Trailblazers and Memphis Grizzlies coming up. There's a bottom line. There's a chance that Denver actually does run the table here, and that could put the Lakers in a tough spot where they could lose the 3 seed. Now, if they do drop down to the 4 seed, could they drop to 5 or 6? Sure. If they string together some losses, there is second out of the back-to-back on the schedule against Phoenix. If the Lakers lose a number of games, remember they do have the tiebreaker over Houston, they do have the tiebreaker over Minnesota. So I still think they probably don't fall all the way to 5 or 6, but it's not impossible. So if they were to drop some games here that maybe you wouldn't expect them to otherwise, and the Lakers fall all the way to 5 or fall all the way to 6, getting the home court advantage in the first round. Now, right now, the Lakers are taking on Minnesota.
We going slow right now.
Obviously, everything is in flux. Minnesota plays again. They can very easily flip-flop. One of them could pass Denver, but Denver has the tiebreaker over both of those teams as well. So, again, we could see any combination of the standings here. Ultimately, the Lakers will play the Denver Nuggets, Houston Rockets, or Minnesota Timberwolves in round one. That's not changing even with this Luka injury. They're going to play one of those three teams. Whether or not they have home court advantage will be determined by whether they go, if they stay further fourth, or if they go down to 5 or 6. And then finally, the benefit to staying in the 3 is that you would get OKC on the opposite side of the bracket. They would be on the San Antonio side of the bracket, whereas if they fall into the 4-5 matchup, they would be on the same side of the bracket as OKC, which I don't think the Lakers would want to see happen. So that's what's at stake in the standings. Now, how can the Lakers actually get through this? Can the Lakers survive? Can the Lakers play enough to get, even with a great 2 straight, to get Luka back in action? That's what I'm going to do next. But first, a quick shout out to our sponsor.
Yeah, got it that week.
Well, it last, and that's where Quinn really shines. Premium fabrics, considered design, and everyday essentials that make everyday to wear and dependable even as the season changes. Everyday essentials I love with quality that lasts. Lightweight cashmere sweaters, Mongolian cashmere polos, linen bottoms and shorts, tees in 100% Pima cotton, and European jersey linen. These are the versatile pieces that make a wardrobe actually work. For example, the shirt I'm wearing right now is one of my very favorites, from Quinn. Quinn works directly with top factories and cuts out the middlemen. You're not paying for brand markup or fancy retail stores, just quality clothing. The cashmere is 100% Mongolian, the same stuff luxury brands use. The Pima cotton is long staple, which means it stays soft and doesn't people wearing it every day. And they only partner with factories that meet rigorous standards for craftsmanship and ethical production. Quince tees have become one of my go-to for getting your wardrobe 55-day return. First and foremost, without... Wait, you're not an OFC? You're basically kicking the IRS. My personal savings on the line, I'm overpaying for no reason. Luka, who is going to need to step up, not just at the end of the regular season here, but also in the playoffs? Well, to me, we're looking at who really needs to step up right now. It's Austin Reeves. I know a lot of people will look to LeBron James. Why? Because he's LeBron James. And that makes a lot of sense for LeBron James to be the guy looked at as the player that really needs to step up. But to me, Austin Reeves, if you're now the second guy in the pecking order, if that's the way that's going to work, you're the second guy in the pecking order, then he's the guy that's going to have to step up. And I was disappointed to see Austin wind up turning the ball over so much in the beginning of that game against the Thunder. He's doing the thing lately where he really struggles in the first half of games, then he turns it on in the second half. That's going to have to go away. That's going to have to go away. He's going to have more consistency across the game. The ball's going to be in his hands a lot. I'm expecting a lot of high pick and roll. And Austin is going to have to go nuclear, kind of the way that we saw him do at the beginning of the season, when it was just Austin and Luka. At the beginning of the season, Austin had a great run and was putting up just absurd stats. Frankly, we're going to need to see that version of Austin Reeves once again. You look at the month of October. Austin Reeves, short month, but 32 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. That's the kind of performance we're going to need to see in November. 24 points, 6 boards, 5.5 assists, 36% from 3, 53% from the field. That's the level that Austin Reeves is going to need to play at in order to get Luka Doncic back in action potentially and keep the Lakers afloat. Now, that doesn't mean LeBron will not have to step up, because he absolutely will as well. The Lakers are a minus 2.9 right now with Austin Reeves and LeBron James on the floor with Luka Doncic off. And of course, that's over the course of the entire season, but LeBron is going to have to take on a bigger role, handling the ball, taking shots. The third guy thing doesn't exist anymore, and there's going to be some matchups where LeBron's going to have to be option number 1. And is that really fair to ask him a 41-year-old? No, but that's the way it is. That's the reality of the situation. LeBron is going to have to turn it on in a big way as well. I just think more of the responsibility falls on Austin Reeves, since he has been given this kind of second guy role in the pecking order. That means when the first guy is out, the second guy is the guy that needs to be, the expectation needs to be that he steps up in a big way. And this will go a long way towards determining what happens with Austin's contract. What did he get on this contract this summer? So important that he steps up. And that said, it goes beyond just that, because frankly, even Austin having a bigger performance, even LeBron having a bigger performance, that's not going to replace Luka Doncic. You're going to need everybody.
The first basket of the second rebound, Minnesota.
I'm going live this afternoon to discuss some things this afternoon because I am in Florida right now, visiting my in-laws. My father-in-law had his 70th birthday. We did a big surprise thing for him last night. It was a lot of fun. But we just got, before I went live, a little bit of news on Austin Reeves. Of course, we got the Luka Doncic injury to talk about as well. Oh boy, but here we go. This is the latest. Dan Boykin said Austin Reeves received imaging on his rib/oblique. We saw him struggling with that injury against the Oklahoma City Thunder, played through it, but still obviously was having a tough time with it. The Lakers are awaiting results. Status is TBD. Yeah, not great. Not great there when you were already now. Luka is done for the season, at least for the regular season. We'll get into Luka more in depth in a minute, but I'm anticipating that we're not going to see Luka unless the Lakers make a particularly deep playoff run. That's the way I'm looking at the Luka situation. Now, he may also be down Austin Reeves. This is what Mike Trudell just put out a few moments ago from Lakers practice. JJ Redick said the Lakers are going to have to play a bit differently from a strategic standpoint without Luka. He also noted that Reeves and Torch, of course they are, so much their offense revolves around Luka, but Reeves and Smart are also dealing with injuries and their status is uncertain for tomorrow's game. Yikes. For Reeves, it's the oblique area. For Smart, it's the ankle that has kept them out. The Lakers official injury report, as I'm speaking here, has not been released yet for tomorrow's game that is coming. But as of right now, I would imagine at best, both will be listed as questionable. For tomorrow, at worst, they could be listed as out. So think about that. If the Lakers are, let's say they play tomorrow in Dallas against Dallas without Luka, Austin, Smart.
Edwards got 8 points in the
your remaining primary ball handlers are LeBron James and LeBron James, right? That's pretty much it. You would have to see a decent amount of Bronny. By the way, Kobe Buffkin has been recalled. He's been brought back up to the Lakers as that Celtics connect. You would have to see potentially Luke Kennard handling the basketball. That's what they would be down to. I mean, there's so much positivity about Smart being available this weekend. Maybe the Luka injury changes that dynamic. Maybe they just say, you know what? We are a playoff team no matter what. Whether we're the 3 seed, the 4 seed, 5 seed, whatever. It's impossible mathematically for them to fall out of the playoffs, even if they were to go over in their remaining 5 games. They're a brilliant playoff team. With that being the case, very much worst case for the Lakers, they would fall to 6. Maybe they just say, you know what, with Luka already injured, let's just make sure Austin, LeBron, and Marcus Smart are 100% going into the playoffs, and forget it. You know, get very, very cautious with the rest of the regular season games. Maybe that's the approach. The Denver Nuggets are playing in just a little bit, taking on the San Antonio Spurs. If Denver beats the Spurs in that game, Denver probably wins out the rest of the way because OKC and San Antonio would probably then 6 guys for the final 2 games this season. Nothing for sure. Hell, who knows? Maybe the Lakers go on a great run and they wind up staying in the 3 seed. They certainly could. That is not out of the question here. But I do think the best hope for the Lakers was that you would get Austin Reeves to revert to the October version of Austin Reeves, the November version of Austin Reeves. That was a near 30 point per game score, high assist, high efficiency. If we get that version of Austin, and that would help keep you afloat now without Luka. Of course, the Lakers still take a step back. But could that at least help the Lakers stay afloat? But if Austin is banged up himself, then that becomes very, very challenging. Like you get past the Dallas Mavericks, you break your thinking, but if you don't have Luka, you don't have Austin, you don't have Clutch, you can get by the Dallas Mavericks. So if you're the Lakers, you just say, our most important thing from here is we need to try to advance as far in the playoffs as possible. I won't say it's impossible for the Lakers to beat the Wolves or beat the Rockets or something.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Enough to maybe get Luka back in play. If we're talking about probably a month, best case scenario, for Luka to come back, that would be right around the second round. But even that may be pushing it a bit. But if you're the Lakers, that's probably the best shot that you've got right now. So it keeps raining and pouring right now on the Lakers when it comes to injuries. Let's get into some of your questions and comments. I know I posted a video yesterday. I was at my father-in-law's surprise birthday party.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second.
Fortunately, I had pre-recorded a couple of different scenarios for the Luka situation. So I posted that video, but I have not been able to come on here and talk live about what's happening here with the Lakers. So I wanted to come on and break down some of this. This afternoon here, but what now? Season's over. Focus on building a contender in the offseason. Work for 3 and 2 wings. Rim protected bigs. Defense with Austin and Luka. So here's I know a lot of Lakers fans have jumped to that, and let's be honest. Realistically, are they going to make a big run without Luka? And I know people will point to the Pistons. Well, but the Pistons, without Cade, they're still. Are the Pistons making a deep run without Cade? No. I know they've been able to win a few regular season games, but the Lakers aren't going to make some big run without Luka. Can they stay alive long enough to get Luka back? Maybe. Even then, though, you're probably talking about a finish. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. This is not good
in the NBA,
for the Lakers. This is frustrating. This is terrible.
It is really difficult to get your feet completely set to
right
stay
when the team has really found
completely
their
still. It's
and they
almost
built all this
surprising to me that
excitement
it
back
isn't
up,
called
and
more
all of
often.
this was happening, and now suddenly Luka gets hit by an injury. It's been an NBA season filled with injuries, and unfortunately this is where we're at. But despite all that negativity, I'm also not going to say, oh, just pack it up, that's it. Bail on the entire season. Like, where's the honor in that, right? Like, tanking doesn't help the Lakers here. No, you've got LeBron James. You've got Austin Reeves. Hey, you want to be the second guy, Austin? You want to get paid like the second guy? Now's your chance. Now's your chance. Time to prove it. Right? I don't think there is any. I don't think there is a reason to just win. And I know that's a way emotionally to disconnect. Well, no, I'm not going to care anymore because they don't have Luka. They don't really have a great shot. I'm not going to be emotionally invested. I understand that. But that doesn't mean that's what the Lakers should do. The Lakers shouldn't just say, that's it, we're out. No, okay, well, forget it. We don't have Luka, we're not going to try anymore. No, of course you do. You either come back with your shield or come back on it, right? You have to play these games, and so you intend to win them. It'll be different if the Lakers were a tanking team and they're competing for the #1 pick, right? It's a different situation, and the NBA is going to try to address that situation. The NBA didn't like that situation right now. But nonetheless, if you're the Lakers, you still got to go out there and play your butts off. You got to go out there and play hard. Go out there, JJ Redick, formulate the best playing scheme to win. Because you know what? Here's the one thing, and this is why when I was playing sports growing up, right? I played soccer. I was a goalkeeper. I used to love penalty kicks. Why? Because no one blames you if it goes in. The shooter is expected to score every single time. And they don't, but they're expected to. Whereas, if you make the stop, you make the save, you're the hero. That's kind of the situation the Lakers are in right now. Nobody expects them to do anything. If they come out here and they win some games, every time they win, it's going to be, oh my God, how did the Lakers win that game? I think there's an opportunity still to go out there, surprise some people, and not end the season effectively on such a down note. Not end the season like that. And hell, is it likely they're going to win enough games to get Luka back? Probably not. Probably not. But man, if it happens, what a hell of a story that would be. So by no means should the Lakers just say, oh, no Luka, we quit, we're out. I get the fan frustration with that.
I don't think there's any
But
question.
I don't think that should be what's going to happen.
Favor the offense these days.
All right.
You've got to be able to equal things out when
take a
an
look
illegal
at
screen
this.
is set. I'm sure if he had the chance to do that possession
Brian
over
said
again,
Trent's on the Lakers table. If I was, I wouldn't be able to do 95% of my job.
From that deep.
But that said, Lakers, you can, my phone line's open. Give me a call. Give me a call. I would fall under the tampering rule. That's the point. By the way, I do think that the Lakers should also, I do think the Lakers should be committed to a new deal. Get him ramped up for summer for sure. Would be the greatest shift ever if they won it. Oh yeah, can you imagine? But you know what would happen? You know what would happen though? If the Lakers go on a winning streak, it will instantly become, these are better without Luka. We already know that would be the case because we did it already with LeBron.
We give Naz Reid credit. He
you
perfectly
think Dalton will get a chance? I do think Dalton will get a chance. I think he will get a chance out of necessity. I think especially if there's no Austin, no Smart, no Luka,
just his first attempt.
Minutes-wise, you're going to need other players to get in there. Now, does that mean I think the Lakers need a bunch of minutes to not connect right now? No, I don't think. I think, frankly, I think by Kobe Boston is ahead of the rotation. Bonnie absolutely is ahead of the rotation. But out of necessity, probably some minutes involved. Bando, I would imagine, will get. Bando's going to go beyond the rotation, getting
maybe adjusting a thing or two.
I think if everybody's out there. Yeah, you know what? Let me talk about this. After the viral Austin Reeves video defending Luka maybe unlocked something new in AR's game, I have a feeling they might shock the league. Well, I don't think that necessarily would unlock where Austin would suddenly go to another level because some idiot in Oklahoma City pissed him off. But I applaud Austin to do what he did there because that fan was completely out of line. That was absolutely disrespectful what that guy was doing and what that guy was saying. I don't care. Look, I don't care if it is a damn Boston Celtic that is down on the floor and I'm a Lakers fan. I'm not shouting negative stuff at a flex. First of all, you shouldn't be shouting negative stuff anyway. But over the course of a game,
we've gone about
hey,
3.5
if you're going to miss
into
the
the
shot,
third now.
like whatever, that's fine. If anything's pretty
To the
good,
right
you can
side.
fire up Luka on the floor.
Clark
But when
from three.
somebody is hurt,
The shot comes
down
up.
injured, and you're watching that player and questioning whether or not he's
By
hurt,
17. And out
that
of
is-
bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession.
ridiculous.
And that's just a risky
As
play
it
to
gets
make a
just
heave
about,
like
aside
that.
from going
Not
through some
working.
type of racial comment or something like
109
that.
left in the third.
That was absolutely absurd. And I don't think that represents all Thunder fans, and I'm happy that Austin went and called that guy out and did not let it go.
A rebound by
Because
the
people are trying to pull Austin away from the situation, trying to say, hey, move on or whatever. No.
In transition,
You
here
don't
comes
let
San
stuff like
Antonio.
that go. And I was glad that Austin said something about it.
And it's a defensive
That
three-second
was
violation.
absolutely ridiculous what that fan did. And again, I don't want to say that reflects all Thunder fans because I certainly don't think about it. Like most people, the vast majority of people
And no good on the
are not,
technical, so unable to pick that
are
one
not
up.
assholes to that degree.
In his 1 year of college, Dylan Harper did a little bit of everything at a
All
high
right,
level.
let's go
It'll be interesting to see how that
to
success
this one.
translates.
Feels like in 2013 when Kobe tore his Achilles. Yeah,
And that's going to be a turnover. They call
It does.
for 8 seconds.
it does. Obviously, different levels, right? A hamstring to an Achilles, but Luka was on this insane tear. He is playing phenomenal basketball. And then you get this happen. The team was finally clicking. I know that game against the Thunder was awful, but the team was clicking. The chemistry is great. They're playing well. They're winning games. They're beating some of the best teams in the NBA. Finally, that's happening, right? You're beating good teams. And then you have the rug ripped out from under you. I mean, absolutely brutal.
Spurs trail by 17. Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks.
The 41 show up to
Johnson
carry in
outside.
2026, fire Palenka. I mean,
You've got LeBron, you've got Luka, you've got Austin. Some other guys you're going to have to step up. I do think the Lakers have a lack of depth, and that's the problem.
Just 5 to shoot.
That you've got here. Yeah, look, it's not exactly like I've seen people in the comments say it's not like when Kobe tore his Achilles. It's not exactly like that. Because when Kobe tore his Achilles, there was the added element of we may have just seen his career come to, like Luka's career is not over. But like when Kobe tore his Achilles, especially back then, and the Achilles there was maybe done. That may be it for a period. Not this season. Maybe done. Right? That was the fear then. So there are differences, but I get the sentiment that it feels similar. As far as LeBron and having to carry in 2026, I think every team, right, would have guys. Austin certainly will, but hopefully, fingers crossed, he's okay, but we'll see on that imaging. LeBron certainly will need to step up. A number of players will have to step up without Luka. That's just the reality. Whether it's a 41-year-old or a 25-year-old, doesn't matter. Guys will have to step up when your superstar level player goes down. That's just that's a fact of life. But I will say the Lakers team absolutely lacks depth, and there are reasons for that, and there are multiple reasons for it. We can look at missed draft picks. What all season we've talked about this. All season we've talked about why does it feel like the Lakers are missing players? Like there's you look around at some of the other teams and you're like, that guy just came in and made a play. Right? The Lakers don't have anybody that can come in and do what that guy just did. Why? Why are they missing players? Why are there players missing from this roster? Oh, low draft picks, right? We've seen multiple times that's happened. I mean, look at the last 4 picks the Lakers have made. Right now, the last 4 draft picks the Lakers have made, and it probably goes back even farther. I'm just thinking recent memory. Bronny James is the best of them.
Oh shit!
Right now, and a Duke Hero is a to be determined, right? Because he's been injured and all of that. But right in this moment of Jalen Hood-Schifino, Dalton Knecht, a Duke Hero, and Bronny James, which one could you put on the court right now and be most confident in? It would be Bronny James. And number one, that's a good sign for Austin, or for Bronny, right? It's a good sign for Bronny and his development. It's also a bad sign for the rest of the Lakers picks. That's for sure.
Taxes was chasing updates and getting nowhere. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert, doing it all for you. While keeping you in the loop. So you can keep chasing this feeling. Now this is Taxes. Intimate TurboTax. Bluevine is uncomplicated, unbranched, and built uniquely for you with high APY on business checking. Bluevine.
As far as the overall depth on this roster, though, it's more than just the draft picks. It's misses in free agency. They gave Vincent that. What's happened, right? You gave big money over 3 years to Gabe Vincent. What did they ultimately wind up having to do with Gabe Vincent? Attach a second-round pick to him to turn him into somebody better in Luke Kennard. Now, that was not in that moment, in that context, that was not a bad trade, and Luke Kennard has been helpful for the Lakers. But go back to when you signed Gabe Vincent. If you found somebody that wasn't Gabe and it worked out better, then you don't have to make that move, right? Now, again, the Gabe Vincent signing in the moment was defensible. I'm not saying it's all on Rob Pelinka because there have been defensible decisions that ultimately just didn't work out. But there's also been, I think, an over interest. There's been too much interest in small guards who aren't particularly great defensively. And we think about Kendrick Nunn, Gabe Vincent, Lonnie Walker, players like this that they've picked up over time. So it's also that. It's been not just that. It's been the roster moves as well. It's been the transactions, the the players signed in free agency has also been the draft pick. And then we've seen this continued cycle of having to give up draft capital to make up for players that are underperforming that have not worked out the way they wanted to. Look, I mean, he gave up second-round picks in addition to D'Angelo Russell in order to turn him into Jordan Smith. He gave up second-round picks in order to turn Kendrick Nunn into Willie Hachimura. Now, again, there's necessarily going to be the wrong decision in the moment, but the reason why they're short on draft capital is because draft capital has to constantly get burned to make up for mistakes. So again, it all leads into this bigger picture of, well, why? Why is there no depth on this team? Constant mistakes and constantly having to make up for it. That's why. And again, you never bat 1,000. There's always going to be things that you think is going to work out great, and then it doesn't. Look, the Celtics thought they were getting a great player in Gordon Hayward. He snaps his ankle the first play of the game. There's an unpredictability with sports. You're never going to get everything right. But the misses for the Lakers have really added up, and I think it's hurt their depth.
Bridges outside.
We need to draft Montevideo Rivas, sign Grimes, Ellis, trade for 3 and D players. Well, yeah, I mean, the challenge is everybody is looking for 3 and D players right now, right? And focus on building a top 10 defense while still being a top 10 offense. Yes. I mean, that's what you're talking about here. First of all, Tyler, you are absolutely correct. But also what you're talking about is the goal for every team to be a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense. If you are, you're a contender. That's the way it works out in the NBA. You're top 10 on both sides of the ball, you're a contender. That's the way it goes. Top 5, even better. Then you're like legit the favorite to win the whole thing probably. But top 10, and you're a contender. So, as far as signing Grimes, we'll see what happens there with the 76ers, what they probably don't move on to them. As far as what Keon Ellis, depending on what you want to take, Ellis is good. He's a good skill set, right? He's not a starter. I think the Lakers need to make sure they get starter players. As far as trading for 3D players, again, everybody wants that type of player right now. But you're absolutely right. Those should be options for the Lakers to consider. Those should be Grimes, Ellis. In the draft, you keep your pick, you move your pick. First of all, I have a lot of time to talk about that. And then as far as building a top 10 defense and offense, yeah. In order to build that defense, I think specifically you're going to need players who with some athleticism, because right now there is an athleticism deficit on this roster. Like, LeBron at 41 should not be the most athletic player on the roster, and that's, omitted a Duke hero, but still, LeBron at 41 should not be the most athletic player on the roster, and he is. So, you need athletic, which is defensive players who can also shoot, who aren't going to just collapse the defense on the other end because they can sit in the paint and not defend that way. So that's going to be critical for the Lakers. Again, the problem is everybody wants those players, but that's the shopping list for the summer. That's what they need to find. They've done a remarkable job despite not being a great team when it comes to athleticism, when it comes to switchability defensively. And some of that is, a lot of people are upset with J.J. Redick for playing Luka in the second half. Medical staff did clear him. He's messing with that hamstring a lot during the game. Personally, I try to err on the side of caution, and I think J.J. should have done that as well, but I also don't think it's time to crucify J.J. Redick, because once again, if the medical staff is telling you no, he's fine, and also we have to remember it's Luka, who's kind of banged up every game. I think it's not like J.J. just lost his mind putting Luka out there. The portion of the game, right, that we were at, where it was such a blowout, I think J.J. all season has been hesitant to pull players when we should. That, I think we could be a little bit upset over, but if anything, if you're going to upset anything with J.J. Redick, it's the minutes that the guys were playing. The minutes were super high. Austin and Luka were two of the highest minutes per game players in the NBA. The minutes were super high. And some of that goes back to the conversation about depth, and J.J. not feeling like he has the depth on this roster to play Luka 34 minutes instead of 38 or whatever, playing Austin 35 minutes instead of 40. But I do think the Lakers were running their guys into the ground, which didn't bode well for the playoffs either. So I think the Lakers are starting to play on heavy legs. Now, so if you're going to criticize JJ for anything, it would be more of that, before the minutes the guys were playing, more so than the decision, I think, to keep Luka in that game. But the right decision, no. But hindsight's also 2020. Like, yeah, the medical staff told him, yeah, kind of at risk here, and JJ did it anyway, totally different. But when he's got medical staff telling him he's fine, that takes, I think, some of it off of
now in the first quarter. And it's slammed in by Hachimura.
Yeah, he gives up a few inches to most from his matchups, but his ability to rise above always gives him a chance.
The shot is Robinson. Nice work on the boards, paying off with a basket.
Well, when you grab the offensive rebound, you're already right there at the rim. It makes the putback that much easier.
And a high-scoring first quarter. Both teams really filling it up. It's Los Angeles. They lead by 2. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in a moment. And this has been a fairly close game for the first quarter. We'll see what happens here in the second. From what we've seen from the Lakers, what's your take so far?
Well, they've used the fast break well to score easy points and keep the defense unsettled.
Everybody in this...
Oh my goodness!
Wow!
B.A., I'm not sure he should be flaunting around the rim like that with this game so close.
Oh, it's risky, but it sure did look good. Now here's Kennard. He's scoreless. Offline with a 3.
And just terrible defense. I don't know how he missed that shot.
And they call the 8-second violation. Too much time getting it up court. Los Angeles leading by 4. And here's Reeves outside. Sinks it from distance. Reeves has got 6.
Well, that's a tough matchup because he's skilled and